Morning, everybody. It is your boy Baddog back with the New York Giants post-game video, and I got a lot to go over in this video. The game pretty much went the way I thought it would, to be honest. I thought it would be a high-scoring game. I figured it would be a close game. I figured that the Giants would be right in the middle of this thing. That's why I actually bet on them. I don't ever bet on the New York Giants, but I figured them getting 7.5 was kind of easy money, and I don't ever win on betting NFL games. So that was actually nice that I cashed in a little bit there. I thought the Giants did some good things on offense. I thought they ran the ball really effectively in the first half. I thought Daniel Jones looked a lot more confident at the beginning of that game. And I thought Jason Garrett did a really good job of mixing up the play calls. You saw a lot of intriguing things, some flea flickers, some reverses, end arounds. I thought they did a really good job of mixing up the play calling. And I thought in the first half the Giants offense was really good, and there was a lot of trickeration. It was nice to see, and it was funny on the Dak Prescott when he caught the touchdown. It was funny to see Kellen Moore also going to the bag of tricks. It was a fun game to watch. It was back and forth, and the Giants got up 17-3. The pick six by Kyler Fackrell. I mean, we were feeling pretty good. I really thought that at that point the Giants had a good chance to win this game when we were up 17-3. I knew Dallas was going to score the points. Dallas is a juggernaut on offense. Like I said, they have three great receivers in Gallup and Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb had a big game. I thought that Bradbury did a good job on Amari Cooper, but when Dallas started to run the ball, that was when their offense started to click. It's always ran around Zeke Elliott. That's what any offense runs around. And one thing I credited Zeke for, and I will continue to credit him for this, he never loses yards. Zeke is not a guy that loses 2 or 3 yards. He always somehow finds a way to get 2 or 3 yards when he should be stopped. He's very good at breaking the initial contact. He's very good at getting positive yardage. When Pollard would come in there, you'd see the Giants, they tackle him for a 1 or 2 yard loss. I'm like, it just doesn't happen to Ezekiel Elliott. It's something he's so good at. There's not a back in the league that I'd want on a 3rd and 1 more than Ezekiel Elliott. I just think he's the best in the league at that stuff. So when it's 2nd and 2, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, Dallas is able to open up the playbook, and obviously they're going to convert a lot of those, as any team would. But once they started to establish the run, they started to play a lot better. Obviously, Dak's injury in this game was something serious. It's something you hate to see. I did a video on that last night, so I'm not going to get too much into that. But when Dak went down, I thought, hey, this is a chance. How good is their offense going to be without Dak Prescott? But Andy Dalton is definitely a serviceable guy. He's been in this league many years. It's not like he doesn't know how to play the position. He's been to the playoffs a number of times. He didn't win a playoff game in Cincinnati, but that's Cincinnati, not Dallas. And I do think that Andy Dalton can be good enough to win in Dallas. I really do. And with this division being as weak as it is, there's no reason to think Dallas can't win this division, even with Andy Dalton, the quarterback. I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, obviously the Dak Prescott thing sucks. I mean, as Giants fans, we went through it with Saquon Barkley when he tore his ACL. It's just a sickening feeling when you lose one of your best players, man. It is. And it takes a lot of energy out of you. Even if you win the game, you're still sitting there going, God, we lost our quarterback. So that was obviously rough, no doubt about it. You give Dallas credit for coming back and winning that game, but let's get into the real part of this. And you'll never hear this from me because it's rare that I ever blame the officiating for a loss. Because to me, the officials don't decide the game. But the officials in this game, it was not just one call here or there. Okay, it was consistently terrible officiating that almost made me believe that they really did want Dallas to win the game. And I don't ever blame the officials for losing a game. But they definitely had a part in the Giants losing. The illegal shift on Cam Fleming on the touchdown to Evan Ingram on the fake field goal was BS. And anybody that watched the game knows it was BS. They threw the flag after Evan Ingram scored a touchdown. That doesn't happen. When there's an illegal shift or illegal motion, as soon as the ball snapped, flag comes out. Did not happen. They waited to see what happened with the play. Then they threw the flag. That was garbage. There was a blatant hold on the pass to Gallup down that pretty much ended the game for the Giants. Blatant hold. The guard tackled the defender right to the ground. There was no call. He hooked him and pulled him to the ground. Blatant hold. No call. No call at all. The offensive pass interference was garbage as well. They took freaking touchdowns away from the Giants. They took 2 touchdowns away from the Giants. They gave Dallas every call. Okay, it was absolutely pathetic. It was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen in my life. There was no way, man. That rub route is run all the time in the NFL, and they don't ever call that. It's not like he contacted him down the field. He contacted him at the line of scrimmage. He ran into him. That happens. That play is run consistently in the NFL, and you never, ever, ever see an offensive pass interference called, ever. So the officiating in this game was atrocious. They ought to be ashamed of themselves and embarrassed. They really ought to be. And the NFL ought to take a good look at that game because that's garbage. And anybody that watched that game, even Cowboys fans, there's no way you can sit there and tell me they didn't get every damn call because they did. That's really frustrating. It's bad enough when your team is 0-4 and now 41 in our last 53 games, haven't beaten Dallas in 3.5 years, and you have a chance. And when you're actually beating that team or playing even with them and you have a chance to win the game, then the officials got to take a bunch of touchdowns away from you and not call holding calls on Dallas or offsides when they continue to jump off sides and get in the backfield. I mean, come on, man. They got to do a better job. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. This is why the NFL ratings are dropping. That people have complained about the officiating in the NFL for years because when you have a game like this, it's obvious. This is the last time I did this was a game against the Panthers when we lost on the 63-yard field goal because the Panthers had 5 downs to kick a field goal. They spiked it on 4th down and they gave them an extra down. So when there's things like that happening, yeah, I'm going to blame the officiating. Okay? It was bad. Yes, we made mistakes. Andrew Thomas was bad yesterday. People can sit there and go, oh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing this excuse about, well, we didn't have a training camp. We didn't have this. Nobody had that. Nobody had training camp. Nobody had OTAs. Nobody had this. It's not just the Giants in this situation. Mekhi Becton was playing great. I'm not calling Andrew Thomas a bust. He's played 5 games, but he has been bad. And people that want to blame Daniel Jones for that fumble, you cannot blame. Listen, I've been as critical of Daniel Jones as anybody out there. There is no way you can blame a quarterback who can't even get to the back step of his drop before he's getting crushed from the back. He's got to think. I always say Daniel Jones needs a clock in his head. There's no quarterback that can't even get to the back of his drop and get hit and think that he's got to get rid of the ball. He's got to put trust in his left tackle. And unfortunately, Daniel Jones doesn't have that right now. So that was a huge turning point in the game, was that fumble. But that's all on Andrew Thomas. He completely missed DeMarcus Lloyd, completely missed him, didn't even get a piece of him. And then he continued to get beat and beat and beat and beat. I don't know why Andrew Thomas has been so awful. I don't. This guy was so good at Georgia. Maybe the Giants ought to stay away from Bulldogs players, right? With DeAndre Baker, it's unfortunate that Lorenzo Carter got hurt. I don't know what the situation is with him. He was carted off the field earlier in the game, so I don't know what his deal is. He was playing a lot better this year. Andrew, maybe we ought to just stay away from Georgia players. I don't know, because they're not panning out. Andrew Thomas may be really good, but right now he's really bad. And I'm not, I'm not saying that Andrew Thomas is a bust, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't have drafted him, okay? What I'm saying is he's been bad, and there's no way around that, okay? He has been bad. Plain and simple. So offensive line has not been good. It's been really bad. But the left tackle is the most important position on this, unless your quarterback's left-handed. But the blindside protector is the most important position on that offensive line. He's been really bad. That's not helping Daniel Jones. That's not helping the offensive line. That's not helping anything. Okay? The good thing about this is the Giants' offense looked like it was better, but you kind of expect that against Dallas's defense. Dallas's defense is terrible. Darius Slayton made a great catch. That one catch that Slayton made on the sideline was a perfect throw by Daniel Jones. This is why I'm critical of Daniel Jones, because he shows flashes of being a really good quarterback, and then he shows flashes of like he doesn't belong in the field. It's very inconsistent. It's very frustrating as a Giants fan to watch your team be completely inconsistent week in and week out, not really knowing what team you're going to get there. And we're 0-5 now. We're still one of the 3 winless teams in this league. The tank for Trevor Lawrence things are going to continue with every turnover Daniel Jones makes, with every loss that Daniel Jones has. I believe he's 1-14 in his last 15 starts or something like that. It's not good. It's not good. He's been bad. And the Giants have been bad, plain and simple. So we dropped 0-5. We have the Washington football team on deck. They lost. The Eagles lost. Cowboys lead this division at 2-3. Cowboys honestly could be 0-5. I mean, let's face it. They're not good. They're not a good team. They should have lost to the Giants. They definitely should have lost to the Falcons. And like I said, they could be sitting at 0-5. There isn't a good team in this division. There's just not. And I think all these teams in this division, when they play each other, are going to play very evenly, because nobody's head and shoulders better than anybody. Dallas definitely has the most talent. and now they lost a quarterback. And I don't think Mike McCarthy's a good head coach. I think Mike McCarthy's a terrible head coach. And there's already talk about them wanting Mike McCarthy fired when the Giants were kicking their butt. I mean, I saw this in our chat. I saw, I went to Mark Holmes' chat too. I just watched them when it was 17-3. They're talking about fire Mike McCarthy. I mean, they're frustrated. Everybody in this division is frustrated with their teams. But nobody could be more frustrated than Giants fans, especially when we had a chance to win that game yesterday and the officials took it away. Like I said, I mean, you can give Dallas credit. They fought back. I'm not taking anything away from them, but they certainly had help from the Zebras, who were just did a terrible job yesterday. That's one of the worst officiated games I've seen in a long, long time, probably since that Panthers game. There are going to be calls that you miss here and there. There are going to be calls that don't go against you here and there. That's fine. When it's blatantly one-sided and you are taking touchdowns away from teams and you are allowing teams to jump off sides and you're allowing teams to hold and tackle defenders at the line of scrimmage, it's pathetic. That was a pathetic job by the officials. They ought to be fined. I'm dead ass serious. That was a terrible job. Anyway, that's all I got in this video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Until next time, bad diggity dizzle, and I'm gone. Peace.